Aloha and good morning. We're going to show you something that may be brand new to your world. We call this Gwashing. Gwashing is a term that I've coined to be able to actually penetrate the skin and bring back vitality back to the tissues underneath the skin. It's Gwashing. It's washing the skin, but also washing inside and below the skin. This is a Gouaching tool that we specifically make, custom, all these tools that we have, and we'll go over how to use these tools in part 2. But these are very specific tools that are used, as I'm going to show you how to do this technique. Remember, the skin is the largest organ of your body, and it is the most aggressive detox organ that you have. And this is a protocol that works beautifully, even if you don't want to change your diet. Doesn't matter. This is something that everybody should do, no matter what you eat, what type of health program you're on right now. Most likely you're not doing this because this is one of the most essential, simple ways to bring back health to your skin. The different types of protocols have to do with also using these very simple different products that we also have at EarthShift. The coconut oil is necessary for you to be able to actually, once you clean your skin, to be able to put the oil back on so you can re-lubricate your skin and feed your body with magnesium. Magnesium is one of the most deficient elements in the human physiology. It's said that 95% of the people in the United States have a magnesium deficiency, and that is a precursor to sickness, to cancer, to parasites, to mental dysfunction. So one of the easiest ways to be able to, without changing your diet, remember this is something you could do without changing your diet, is to learn the skin cleaning protocols and then go ahead and feed your skin different types of minerals absorbing through your skin. We call that transdermal. Now, the protocols that we'll go over are very simple. Like I said, we're only going to show you basic protocols. There are more intermediate and there are more advanced protocols, which as you get going on this, you'll find out that you'll want to be able to dig a little deeper. And digging a little deeper is exactly what you're going to do. Not only are these tools used for opening up the skin, but they're also used for deep massage, as I'll show you, different types of techniques and protocols to be able to, not just like I said, clean the outer skin. And your skin, remember, is the first thing that people see on you. Not only the first thing that they see on you, but it's how you feel inside. If you've got bad skin, pimples, wrinkles, or just skin that's not pleasable to your eye, then most likely you're not confident about yourself. Your skin, remember, is physiological. It is something that you really want to have working correctly. Now, this protocol doesn't just work on, like I said, skin. We're going to dig deep into the tissue and show you the basic ways on how to use these tools. This is a basic introduction to Gwashing. There are many other videos that we've done on the deeper aspects and different protocols because it goes not deep, but there is lots of different variances that you can do with these different protocols. Now, Gwashing means, to me, as Gua Sha, which is an old Chinese term, which these techniques, part of them, are about 3,000 years old. A lot of Asian cultures have been using these techniques to be able to do what Gua Sha means, to scrape away disease. And so to scrape away disease would mean that you'd want to really learn how to do these techniques. Now, part of the technique is not just using these tools, but it's also doing some of the prior protocols of cleaning your skin. And we go over this very simply. There's recipes on EarthShift products on how to make the different recipes. And the base is made out of vodka, and you clean your skin, and you use different lubricants that you put on your skin every day. This helps you revitalize your tissues. So we're going to go over a few things that you're going to want to know really what this does. Remember, again, the skin is the largest organ of your body. If your skin is open, if your skin is working correctly, then your body's largest detox organ is actually finally effectively keeping you clean. So if that's the case, if you're keeping your tissues clean, that means that your immune system, that means that your whole internal system starts to work very efficiently and effectively. Now, what gouaching really does is it restores normal flow back to the tissues. That's the biggest part of this whole movement. Now, like I said, there are specific tools that we're going to use and show you, and of course it does take practice just like anything. But once you learn these protocols, it's just like anything. A brand new job is sometimes a little hectic in the beginning, but after a few weeks, it's pretty simple. After a few weeks of doing these protocols, not only will you find out it's easy to do, but you'll find out how much your skin has rejuvenated. And of course also detoxified. One last quick point here is that, remember, you have thousands of acupuncture points on your body, and this is what the gouaching does, is stimulate all these points. So we go to acupuncturists, sometimes we get deep massage. This is something that you could do yourself. I call it the simplest self-treatment that you can do on yourself, which is very efficient because you don't have to rely on anybody. Specifically, gouaching is good on all soft tissue. We're going to show you how to open up the initial skin, and then we're going to go a little deeper inside the skin pores. And remember, each pore that's on your body, and you have literally thousands of them everywhere, each pore has 4 feet of cord, and these cords let out a lot of the toxicity out of the body. So if they're plugged, your body holds toxicity. Once we go a little deeper, remember this technique works on soft tissue beautifully. So once we go a little deeper, then we start to massage the lymph glands. We start to massage the largest part of the fluid that's in our body. It's not our blood, it's our lymph. So when we have body fat and or when we have sickness, the lymph glands realistically are plugged. Now, when we go a little deeper, what we're looking at is we're looking into the muscles, the ligaments, and the tendons. So different types of shoulder injuries, back injuries. This works also equally as well too, and there's different techniques to work different layers. The skin technique on the layer of the first area is definitely different than if you're going to go ahead and work on the muscles. So now we're going to get into part 2. Part 2 is to give you a little example on how to do the basic premise of gouaching. And this is very simple, like I said, but what you have to do is watch some of the videos really if you want to go more advanced, but everybody can do this. Especially one of the best places I like to do this is in the shower. You can use a variety of different protocols. You could use saunas, you could go out into the sun, you can make a fireplace really get you so you're using the far infrared heat off the fire. You want to soften yourself up though first. So we'll show you some of these different protocols, and like I said, this is a basic way to be able to actually get your health back. And once you really see that this works, you'll want to do this all the time because this is the easiest thing for you to be able to feel, very vital. Here we go, part 2. As you can see, we've got ourselves a victim here. Now, Jeff Aldrich is from California, and he's been helping with our retreat that we have going constantly all year long with people learning terrain modification protocols. And this is something that once you see it done on someone else, then you're going to want to try and practice this very easily because this is something that, as you can see, his skin looks pretty good, okay? And he's got marks on his skin here because we just did a 2-hour in the sauna video on some deeper techniques yesterday, remember?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so just to go ahead and let you know, the marks that you see on him, these are normal. These are called ecchymosis. Turn your head this way. And these light little marks, this is blood that comes to the skin. This is normal. I used to get those on my body. And remember, you guys worked me good. I didn't get any.
No, yeah. We're going as hard as we could.
Yeah, now show under your arm here. And these don't hurt. This is just an area that has more blood into it. And this is normal. Like I said, it's called ecchymosis. And ecchymosis is where now we get new blood flow to the tissue that realistically didn't have that much flow before. So really, if we're looking at this as a doctor's point of view, this is sick tissue, but we are bringing back blood supply and also breaking down the toxicity and or parasites or whatever lives underneath the skin there to let the body reabsorb this. So this is just normal, and it takes about 3 days for this to go away. Now, if I push on this, does that hurt?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No.
Let me see your other side here. Okay, and Jeff has done the terrain modification program here. He's been using a lot of these different techniques, and you can see this guy's in good shape. Do you feel any of these skin cleaning techniques actually do any good, or are they just sort of hocus pocus?
No, they're everything really. Like I think it's the first thing in health, really.
Exactly.
Just getting out the toxicity and letting your skin breathe. It just makes so much sense, and it feels good once you have a good practice.
Exactly. So not only does it feel good, but as you can see, your skin, like I said, is one of the most important things. When people see you first, pimples, wrinkles, just skin that's hanging because you lost weight, this is a miracle to be able to actually make your skin look very youthful. So what we're going to do with Jeff here is I'm just going to show you the basics. And what we really suggest you to do is clean your skin with the alcohol solution. It takes about 5 minutes to do your body from head to toe. And you wouldn't believe the stuff that's going to come off your skin. And this is just vodka that I got from Costco. It's a 6 times distilled vodka. And we used different minerals in here to be able to make this into a what I call a mineralized vodka. This is our solution to clean up the skin. And we just use a towel and we scrub the body really good, effectively. And then once we do that, then it's time to re-lubricate. And we'll put on coconut oil, so I'll bring that here. And we'll put on some magnesium and also silica. I put magnesium and silica together so I don't have to use the 2 bottles. And this is very simple. Once you add coconut oil and magnesium to your skin looks young. It starts to tighten up. You start to be able to see through your skin, which basically means that your skin is actually transparent because that's the way it's supposed to be. It's only 7 layers thick. So the simple thing we're going to do here is to show you the basics. Let's say we've already cleaned his skin, and let's just do your arm right here. Let's just do this side since it's on this side. Just put a little bit of lubrication on. You never want to do the Gwashing dry, and it's really good to do in the shower. You don't need to use any oil if you go in the shower. And if you go into the sun, remember, you want to soften yourself up. Maybe spend 20 minutes in the sun or sit in front of the fireplace. Soften yourself up. The best is using a far infrared sauna, but the shower works really good too. Now, when you start gwashing, what you want to do is you want to go real slow. And we're going to put some magnesium on too.
What's the ratio of silica to magnesium you put in there?
I just put like 10%. 10% out of this bottle here, I put 10% of our silica in here because magnesium and silica go hand in hand together. The body needs silica to regenerate its tissues, and the magnesium is so the body can be conductive so it can regenerate. So they go hand in hand. And so we just put a couple sprays on like this, and you can see it just really absorbs into the skin. Once your skin cells get open, your body absorbs this in, and this is what makes your skin very supple. Now, we have a variety of different blades here. Okay, these are, like I said, gwashing tools, and we make these specifically. This tool here, you can see, we get this, it's called the tomahawk, and this is to be able to break down deeper tissue. This is to be able to use different points of the tool to be able to break down different hardnesses underneath the skin. So we're going to use a very basic form here, and you can see this is like a hair comb, but we're not using this as a hair comb. This is something that you could use on either side. So let's just use this hair comb here. And the way you would do this is that you're not going to push down hard. And I'm going to turn the blade just a little bit. And what you're going to do is just roll this back and forth like this. And this is the very beginning to bringing back blood supply to your skin. And this feels good. Mm-hmm. But if your tissues are locked up, this may hurt a little bit. So what you do is you just do a little bit at a time until it becomes red, like we're getting the red marks here. And the deeper you push, the more red marks you'll get. But what we're just trying to do is just get blood to the surface. You can see how this is really red. Now, when I did him the other day, we went way deeper because he's more advanced. So in the beginning, what you're going to do, you're just going to try to break things up. And you just want to lightly go over the spots until they get red. Once they're red, you're done for the first time. You can see how easily the skin turns nice and red, but it's not going to give him bruises, and if it does, that's normal still. It just means that you went a little deeper maybe on your first try, but you really want to get these little marks to come out. After a while, you will not get any marks. It just means that your skin is very healthy and it doesn't have any loss of blood flow. So this is just one arm that we just did, and you can do all the fingers. Okay, you want to break up every part of the tissue, and it actually does feel good. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, it's a little bit sometimes painful, but once you get this broken down a few times, when you get done with this, it makes you feel like all of a sudden you just got an hour massage. Okay, remember, this is self-treatment. So this is a basic way to be able to actually do your first movement of getting blood flow. Now you can use, you can see we have different tools here. These look like combs, but you're not going to comb your hair with these. Let's just try this smaller one. Feel how those are not sharp, but they're sort of like a rake right here. And this rake, what we do is you do the same thing. You can feel how this is totally different than the other one.
Oh yeah.
And what this does is this is like taking a rake on a tractor and going through a pasture. And this opens up the blood supply a whole different way. And what you want to do is you can use several tools in the same spot. Remember, you're not pushing hard. All you're doing is doing a variety of movements to be able to open up the tissues. In the beginning, like I said, you don't need to put a lot of pressure on. You want to first of all find out how sensitive your tissue is. And if you're a woman, most likely your tissues are way harder than men's, because what lives under the tissue, remember, is a lot of toxicity. And so we found out that a lot of women, when they start doing this, they'll bruise really easy. So what you have to do is you have to do this very slowly, a little bit at a time. Little bruises are fine, 2 or 3 days, it'll go away. Like I said, this is normal. Now you can see the little marks, like little comb marks on him. That's what I would do as a beginning, just 2 tools, and you could use a variety. Each one of these tools, some of them are sharper on the edges, some of them have like a fish tail. So if we wanted to, let's say we wanted to do his knuckles in here, you can use all these different, you want to put a little oil always, lubrication, and you're realistically massaging each of the tendons. And you'll hear little crackly noises and everything. And so if you have stiff fingers, joints, wrists, tendons, carpal tunnel, okay, tennis elbow, all these different areas like this, feel how your fingers really, it pulls the tendons. All these areas here can be broken down so the tissue can actually regrow itself. One of the things we found out is if you can break down the tissues to a new form, then your body will reform itself in the way it's supposed to, but it will not usually heal unless you break it down first. Now, these simple tools, like I said, each of them have their own specific. You can see this one here. These are all, we all custom made these, and you can see that I've got all different points, so there's lots of different ways to use this tool. This tool is great to be able to work on lymph glands. So let's say we wanted to work on his chest lymph glands right here, okay? And these are all basic areas, and that's why you should look up on an anatomy chart just so you can see where your body has these different lymph glands. And so I'm going to use, you can feel the spoon, it's really dull. It's super dull, okay? And this spoon here is not sharp, and so what we're going to do is, this isn't to open up the skin, this is to go a little deeper into the tissue. And you can feel this is a whole different movement. And what this is doing, this is squeezing the muscle. It's like doing a very fine-tuned massage. And we want to do it until the skin gets red. Okay, and you can see the skin's turning red, very easy. And once we get the skin red, now you're ready to go on to the next area. And you want to break all these tissues apart, just like this. And you can do this over your whole body. You can do this on your neck, you can do this on your face, you can do this on your skull. A lot of areas that are really toxic on people, this is why he's got these marks. Remember, I did him hard everywhere, and you can see where his tissue is very healthy. And he's been doing this for a while, he didn't mark at all. And some of the areas, this is where most people, okay, are stuck, is under the armpits. This is where all the cancers form. This is where all of the lymph glands realistically get clogged. So the way you do the same thing here is you put a little bit of coconut oil on.
This is where it also might be a challenge for someone to go hard on themselves, raking in their
100%. Now, and what the magnesium does, that's why you want to use magnesium a couple times a day, is the magnesium softens up your tissues underneath. So I like putting magnesium on too, because magnesium is a natural muscle relaxant, and it really, really relaxes the muscles, because that's what we're trying to do. So we're going to use the same spoon. You can see how, again, this is a very dull spoon, and doing this under here is very sensitive on most people. So what you want to do is you want to put the hand behind the head, and you just roll back and forth. And we're on top of the ribs here. You don't have to do it that hard. There's all these little glands in here, and all you're trying to do is move them around right now. And once you get them moved around, you'll know, because it'll start to, you start to feel that. And it'll make you sometimes laugh and tickle. And you don't do it that long. You're just trying to make the area so it's got a little redness to it. And you can do this all over your whole body. You can do this on the front of the stomach. A lot of people have hiatal hernias. They have different parts where their shoulder muscles are stiff just because they maybe had a shoulder injury long ago. So you can actually work, like I said, different layers of this. Now, this instrument, this is a very smart instrument, and this really opens up the tissues. This is an acupuncture type instrument. We get this from China, and this is specially made to be able to open up the skin pores and really stretch the pores and the tissues underneath. And the same way, we'll go over the same area. Remember, you can go do one area with 2 different tools. And you can use the variety of tools different ways. This is all basic stuff. It's not, this isn't aggressive. And you can see as I'm going back and forth, all this is doing, it's opening up tissue and making it flow. Okay, let's go ahead and do underneath here. It does take a little time to do this, but you know what? When you get done, you feel like you just saved yourself $150 for an hour and a half massage because you did it yourself, and no one can do it better than yourself. You'll find out. Okay. And we wanted to make that red. You can see how that's a little red now. And these tools, like I said, are very effective by bringing blood back to the skin. Now, one of the things also you can do is we have different types of, they're mitts that are sharp, and they're made out of like a sharper material. And what we do is we put a little coconut oil on. Same thing. Let's just do another spot on you. Turn this way. It'll work on the same spot. And we put a little coconut oil on there, and we use this buffing pad. And this is to get off the first layer of skin. So remember, the skin cleaning protocol is not just using the blades, but it's doing a variety of different types of modalities that really make the skin, promote it to regenerate. And you need to put always coconut oil on when you use this, or use this in the shower. And you can do all these tools and use them all with water. It's very easy to use this in the shower because the water is your lubricant and you do not need to use coconut oil on it. And what you're trying to do is sand this down so it feels like, feel how smooth that is. So it's baby smooth. So a lot of people have a lot of pimples and a lot of bumps on their skin, and this takes that away. And the bumps and the pimples under the skin are either toxicity or parasites that live in the pores. So as we scrape off the little volcanoes that live on the skin there, pimples, different things, then we put on the coconut oil and the magnesium, and this seals the inside of the body. Now, if you have wrinkles, fulvic acid is beautiful to use with these tools too. So you can learn the protocols on how to smooth out wrinkles and how to regenerate your tissue, especially if it's got scarring, or in a lot of cases, a lot of people have sun damage. You'll notice a lot of people, their skin is very wrinkly, okay? Using the protocols on using the fulvic acid, fulvic helps dissolve a lot of the scleroderma, or the hardening that lives on the skin. And your skin, just like his, you can see through his skin. Your skin's supposed to be transparent. This is true. Everything that lives under the skin is the lymph. So if you can't see through your skin, this is the stuff that you're going to break down when you're doing these tools. And this is where, when you get these little marks, this is where you're bringing back life. Remember, Gwashing, Gua Sha means to scrape away disease. And so a lot of the things that live underneath the tissue, parasites, mycofungi, all different types of heavy metals, toxicity, plastic, perfumes, all these things clog the skin. So like I said, you don't have to change your diet, but you do need to know how to learn how to use the protocols. This is basic protocols. You can do this on your feet. You can do this on your face. You can do this, like I said, on every part of your body. And this brings back life to, depending on what area that you work. So, you know, some of the protocols that we want to share with people have to do with using this consistently. I would suggest you doing this in the shower every day, picking on a spot. And let's say he's in the shower one day, he's going to work this area one day in the shower. Just turn the water on after you get soft. This is at the end of your shower. And work your upper body. Next time, go ahead and work your legs. Okay? Next time, work your feet and your hands. So each time you do this, though, you'll notice that your body becomes more flexible, and you'll feel that you just got re-energized. One of the other oils I like to use is cacao butter. Cacao butter is actually even better than using the coconut oil when you use it on your face because it's thicker. And this is really good to be able to put on after your shower also. And this seals in the coconut oil and the minerals. The coconut oil and the minerals really help your skin stay supple, and it relaxes all the wrinkles. And the coconut butter is one of the best oils that I can say, instead of buying different oils, this is the best oil to put on your body to revitalize and resupple the skin. Again, this was a basic Gwashing protocol. We do have other protocols that are deeper and more advanced learning at Earther Academy. We have all these products at Earth Shift Products, and this is, like I said, one of the most, I would say, easiest, simplest ways for you to regain back your exterior health by opening up your skin pores. Now, the tools, you'll notice that there's several kits at Earth Shift. All the tools are very beneficial, and personally, I would get them all. We custom make these, and these tools are essential to be able to really do gouaching correctly. And then remember, the other tools you're going to have are just a simple few different solvents that you add to your skin.
Important reminder: all information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earth Shift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earth Shift Live radio talk show or therein.